Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tyler Posey, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Tyler, what's up, dude? It's good to reconnect. And I feel like the various bands that you were doing before to now, like I feel like you've kind of discovered your sound, what you're all about. And once I listened to Shut Up, I was just like, I feel like this is what he's been trying to create. So, congratulations with Shut Up, your new single and debut single as a solo artist. And talk to me about the creative process for this track and like how different it was from, doing stuff with band members compared to doing this on your own.
Well, thanks, dude. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Yeah, I do kind of feel like I've been playing in bands since I was 11 years old. And, every year you kind of progress and evolve and find your sound more and more. And so I think I've just become more definitely in tapped with what I want to be doing, what I want to sound like. But I'm sure the next album, the next release will be, even more evolved. And so, I think it's an ever growing process of trying to figure out your sound. But it's definitely, it's clicked in more and more. Sorry, my dog is on my table, just trying to say hello. And so the reason why I kind of went solo this time around is because my drummer is stuck in Australia because that's where he lives. And I haven't been able to see him, so we haven't played shows. My bassist has been busy with becoming a firefighter. So he's trying to become a firefighter. And so I was like, I'm writing all these songs anyway. And I checked with them before. I was like, would you guys mind if I just release it under my name? It kind of feels like the right move artistically. And, I think my name has some traction already, so might as well take advantage of it, and so they were cool with it. And so the writing process wasn't too different, because most of the time it's usually just been me and Feldy. The only addition is having Phem come in and write with us and feature on Shut Up. So the writing process wasn't too different than what it normally is. It's usually just me and Feldy kind of like taking the reins. And so that's what we did this time. And it's just, we just try to, we're both really solidified into punk rock. Like that's where our hearts lie. And whenever we pick up a guitar, it sounds like that. So we just like to experiment a little bit and just kind of see what we can throw in there without it sounding like forced or unnatural. So that's kind of just been our thought process throughout the entire time we write with each other, punk rock, but with like a modern twist in a way, you know what I mean?
Right. And one thing that I love is, you and Feldy, I mean, Feldy has been your day one since you started, picking up that guitar, basically. Like that's what it feels like. So the fact that you guys have been able to collaborate together, whether it was co-writing or production, like on your various projects. And on top of that, like there's always artists coming in and out of his studio. So like those kinds of experiences as well, like how do you feel they've kind of or helped you become the artist that you are today, especially for this solo track?
I mean, yeah, a lot of the artists he's got coming in, like The Used, Blink-182, they all, and himself, Goldfinger, they all are the reason why I play music today, and, a lot of the new writers he's writing with, like Youngblood, Mod, and a few others, like I only listen to punk rock. And my dog's chomping away on a donut. I'm gonna steal this real quick, okay? They're kind of like in the newer scene of music, and so it's kind of forced me to step out of my element and comfort zone and start listening to like newer artists. And I think that it's cool because Feldy, his music inspired me when I was a kid, and now as an adult, he's inspiring me to kind of step out of my box and listen to other artists. So I really have a lot to thank him for, you know what I mean?
I feel like you're always learning when you're around Feldy, whether it's like old school punk rock or like the new school, as you kind of mentioned. One thing that really drew my attention with Shut Up was that introduction where it's like, it gave me Tom DeLonge vibes, man. And it was just like, I'm such a huge, like, I love Blink-182, but I always say like I was a Tom DeLonge fan first.
Yeah, dude, me too.
And like those guitar tones that you kind of have in the introduction of the track, Talk to me about the creative process for those, and like, was this inspired by Tom or Blink in general?
Well, I think anytime, like you said, dude, I'm a Tom fan. Like Blink has been my band since I was a kid, but Tom is the dude who changed my life, like completely.
Yeah.
Like I had my haircut like him, I had my lip pierced, I got tattoos because of him, I'm playing guitar because of him. You know, so I think anything that I write is gonna have a lot of his influence. You know, it kind of like his guitar is just super iconic, his tones, the way he plays it, his down to his finger positioning on the guitar just looks iconic. And so I've tried my best to kind of emulate, but with my own sort of flavor mixed into it. So I think anytime I pick up a guitar, nothing's really anything I write. I'm never like, okay, I listen to a song and I'm like, I want to write to sound something like that. You know, it's always just kind of like, before I write a song, I never have an inspiration as to what I want it to sound like. It just usually ends up sounding like something that people can kind of like pinpoint or like sound that's familiar. So, you know, I think anything that I write will kind of have some Tom DeLonge influence in it, but I didn't look to Blink or any Tom DeLonge riff specifically before I wrote this song. It just kind of came out sounding that way. And it's a huge compliment, dude. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome. Cause I mean, this music, you grow up with it and it just lives with you, like no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you can, you know, create your own sound, but at the same time, give us some kind of nostalgic kind of vibe with it. So that's awesome as an artist to be able to do that. Now, as far as like your collaboration with Phem, and also Travis Barker, who's on the track, but you know, co-writing with Phem, like what was that like? And you know, why did you feel like her voice was important for this track in the beginning?
Yeah, so Feldy hit me up one day and was like, "Hey, I've got Phem coming in to write with us." I was like, "No, that's awesome." I'd never really written with anybody other than Feldy before, you know, so I was stoked. I'm always stoked to kind of like expand my friendship when it comes to, you know, the music business, because I'm still kind of new to it. I want to start writing and expanding with other artists, and so I was really stoked. And we wrote like maybe 2 or 3 songs before we wrote Shut Up together, and I was like really down to have her on any song. I was like, God, in the back of my head, I was like, I wanted to feature on this song, I wanted to feature on this song, but I didn't want to like overstep any boundaries and ask. I was kind of nervous to ask her, because Feldy brought her in and like we were getting closer, but like I didn't feel like it was my position or place to ask her for a feature. And we got to Shut Up, and I think we were like messing around with the hook. We couldn't really figure out what the hook wanted to sound like, and Feldy's like, "Why don't you hop into the vocal booth, Phem, and see if you can like ad lib anything cool?" And he just had her sing. I think that was like his plan to like get her to feature without actually asking her to feature. So she got in there and started messing around, and he was like, "Why don't you just sing over Tyler here, do your own thing here?" And then eventually we just all realized that she was going to be featured on this song, and we just ran with it. And it was really emotional, dude. Like it just made the song so much more important and special, I think. And so much so that like while in the middle of recording her vocals, Feldy stopped recording and walked in there and like hugged her, because like he was like super overwhelmed with emotion. And it was super emotional. And it felt like, you know, there's certain moments in your life as an artist where you feel like something's going to be big, you know, and during that moment, it felt like the song was going to be huge, and it felt like it was going to get radio plays, which it has, you know. So it was just a cool moment as an artist and a songwriter and a friend of Feldy and Phem to kind of witness that. It was awesome.
That must have been like crazy, like in the studio, like those kinds of vibes you don't get anywhere else. Now, like the fact that, you know, it was emotional the way it was during the recording process, like when you listen to the song, like, do you still feel that kind of emotion, or do you feel like that emotion has kind of grown even more now that it's a final product?
Yeah, so the thing with releasing is never like, I love writing the song so much more than releasing the project for some reason, because like that's where all the emotion lies. You know, it's a different kind of emotion when you release. It's like, did I get enough hits? Are people listening
to the song? That's scary.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, you know. So like writing the song and recording it is so much more emotionally invested than releasing, I think. So when I listen to it now, I'm able definitely to still put myself back into that place of when we first wrote it, and like almost hear it for the first time. And I think it's dope, dude. Like I will always love that song. I don't think I can overplay it. You know, you might be right. It might be more emotional now listening to it now than it was before, just because it's out. It now feels like sometimes when you like release a song and you don't listen to it for a little while and you listen to it again, you're like starstruck by it. You're like, oh yeah, this song, you know? So it's like, it's one of those things.
So now that this track is out, it's gotten the attention that it has. You've had this experience of co-writing with someone else. What else, you know, is in the books for you as far as music? Do you see yourself like even considering to release more music as a solo project, or
absolutely, yeah,
kind of a one-off?
No, not at all, dude. Yeah, so music is always going to be in my life. And for now, I'm just going to be doing the solo thing. So I've got 2 EPs coming out this year. I'm in the studio right now. Yeah, I got 2 EPs coming out because we were going to do a full-length album. And then I was like, let's just split it up into 2 different EPs, 7 songs each. And then I'm in the studio right now with another producer, and we have 2 songs done that are like some of the coolest I've ever written, with 2 different features. And so I don't know what I'm gonna do with these songs. Might just put it like on a mixtape and like have a bunch of like friends feature on some songs. But yeah, dude, I have no intentions on stopping. Feldy's one of my best friends, and we're gonna get back into the studio and start recording with him again. I'm just in a really good place with music, and I'm writing on my own. I'm recording music on my own and producing. And awesome. So yeah, dude, I'm planning on doing this, you know, full time.
Is this new producer a producer that Feldy also kind of introduced you to, or is this someone else that you kind of like wanted to work with?
My drummer introduced me, so he, but he's worked with Feldy. He like came up under Feldy for a long time. Awesome. So my drummer introduced me to him, and then as I was hanging out with him, I realized that he worked with Feldy before, like very closely, and so it's all in the same kind of circle. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Yeah. Now, another thing I love about you is that like when it comes to the music, like you're on it, like you're seriously like a pop punk kid, like, and it shows with whether you release something or you're kind of playing your covers with your guitar or like doing anything. But like I loved, you know, with this press release alone, like I love seeing that the cover photo was shot by Storm Santos, which is like when I first started my Punk Videos Rock channel back in like 2006. Storm was like, I remember seeing him doing the band thing, you know, promoting shows. And I think he even toured with other bands as like a photographer or something. But like, I just remember it takes me back to like the No Future Cafe days in Pasadena, where like all these bands were always hustling. Yeah. And then now seeing you collaborate with someone like that is like amazing. So it's like, talk to me about your circle of friends, like as far as like the music world goes, because I feel like you're well connected with a lot of people that, you know, we grew up either idolizing or like just hustling our asses to become what we are today.
Yeah, man. Yeah. My circle is really cool right now. Storm, you know, he's been a buddy of mine for a few years now, and he's been taking band pictures for me. So like everything I've put out under Big Noise has all been shot through Storm. And I was listening to the radio the other day with Phem, and every single song and every person, even the host of the radio show we were listening to, we were all friends with. And I was like, God damn, dude, our circle is so cool right now. Like I'm really good friends with Feldy, obviously, Goldfinger, and whenever Mike Herrera from MXPX and Goldfinger, whenever he can't play bass, I get asked to fill in for him. And I grew up listening to these dudes my entire life. I got Travis on a song. I have Blink-182 tattoos. Who else, dude? I mean, it's there's just like Matt Pinfield is also in our circle, and he's this legend that's been in the music scene for years and has every single story with every single band you can think of. We were just like with him the other night, and he was talking about Limp Bizkit and how cool they are and how much like influence he had on Limp Bizkit and the Killers. And yeah, dude, we're just in a really, really great circle right now of people in the music business. And they're like, you know, there's a lot of new artists are mixed in with this circle, but it's mostly like these people who have been around and like really done it for years and done it right. Like Feldy, his whole crew, Matt Pinfield. I know I already mentioned them, but they're like these huge, prominent, important people in my life right now. And who else, dude? I don't know. I've got some great people that we're hanging out with, like all the dudes from Emo Night. Love those people. Morgan Freed. He does a lot of stuff with Blink and other great bands. And I just got tattooed by the lead singer of Movements the other day.
Sick.
So I'm like, I try to keep my circle as punk as possible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's sick. Lastly, because you also act like, and you just have a release, or you just have the song out, there's no video of it yet. Are there plans for music video for Shut Up? And what are you planning for this video?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, we almost were able to film it the other week, but we've been waiting on Travis to see if he's available or not. Dude is the busiest person in the world. We're gonna find out today when we're gonna film it. But yeah, we've got plans for a video soon, and then this one's gonna be like, you know, because it's got the feature of Travis on it and Phem. I wanted this one to be like really kind of polished and well done, and so we've got Morgan Freed from Evil Night is actually directing it. So he's got a whole crew. It's got a whole crew ready for it and a whole concept, and it's really cool. So that'll be done soon. And then I'm just gonna start rolling out as many music videos as I can, even if I have to film them myself. Yeah. You know, I want to just start rolling out stuff as soon as my music drops. Kind of have like all the content to go with it. You know.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats, and I can't wait for more music from you for sure.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.